Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to evaluate exponential functions. And before we start doing that, I actually want to discuss a common error that students make all the time, and I want to clear it up right now at the beginning. If I have an exponential function, say 2 times 3 to the x, and I want to say plug in 4, let's say for x. So I would have 2 times 3 to the 4. A common mistake that I see students do all the time is they say, oh, I got 2 times 3 is 6, so I get 6 to the 4th. That is not correct, which is why I put that do not equal sign there. The reason why this is wrong is because order of operations says you always do exponents first. So the correct answer would be if I take 3 to the 4th, which is 81, and then take 81 by 2 and do it that way. So don't multiply your a and your b prematurely. Make sure you do the exponent first. So in the first example here, we're going to plug in 6 for x. So I have 1/4 times 2 to the 6 minus 3. That gives me 1/4 times 2 to the power of 3, because 6 minus 3 is 3. 2 to the 3rd is 8. So now I have 1/4 times 8. And then, of course, 1/4 times 8 would be 2. Now, if you want to do this on your calculator, you can punch in 1/4 times 2, and then you would put with your little caret symbol, it looks like a little arrow, and then to the power of 3. And you would put it in your calculator like that, and you should get 2. Okay, and make sure you put, I should have said that too, make sure you put parentheses around your fraction 1/4 as well if you put that in the calculator to do it. Okay, second example is we're going to plug in -5. So here's our mother function, a times b to the x, and if you notice, it's been shifted up 1. So we're going to plug in -5 for x. So I have 1/3 times 1/3 to the -5 plus 1. So I'm going to do the exponent first. I'm going to take 1/3 and raise it to the power of -5. Well, 3 to the 5th is equal to 243. So if I take 1/3 and raise it to the power of 5, I would get 1/243. However, because x is negative, if you recall, when you have a negative, you flip your fraction upside down. So 1/3 to the -5th is going to be 243. So now I take 1/3 times 243 and I add 1, and that would give me 82. If you want to put this in your calculator, you would put it in, I'll do this in a different color, you would put it in as 1/3 in parentheses times 1/3 in parentheses, and then you put your little caret symbol in there, and then in parentheses you put -5 and then plus 1, and you should get out 82. And so I'll circle this in red here too. This is how you would put it in on the calculator for the first example. So you want to make sure when you're putting in a -5 that you don't use the subtraction button, or it's going to give you an error message. Make sure you actually use the negative button that's down at the bottom of your calculator, not the subtraction button.